it up with a nice stringer of brook trout. Alright guys, back with another video. Today's video we're going to be making some trout chowder. So, got several different ingredients here. It's pretty easy to make, just got a lot of different ingredients. The main ingredient is going to be the trout itself. Now you could use bluegill, perch, bass, whatever. I happen to be using trout. And it doesn't matter how you cook the trout. These are fillets, skin. They have skin on them. We're going to be removing the skin. But if you cook the whole trout, the whole fish, it doesn't really matter because you're going to be separating the meat from the bones. You're basically going to be crumbling up the meat anyway, so it really doesn't matter. These happen to have been smoked trout. I did them the other day. They were a little bit saltier than I like, so I thought maybe I should use them to make some chowder. We also got some bacon here. I don't know, probably about 6-7 strips of bacon. If you like bacon, put a little extra in it. Now any of these ingredients you could substitute, you can add, you can make it your own recipe. We also got some green onions. You could use a whole onion, dice that up. I'm going to use some green onions just so we can get a little bit of the green in there, chop that up. We got a couple cans of pieces and stems of mushrooms. You could use fresh mushrooms if you want. 2 blocks of cream cheese, some black pepper, some garlic powder. I don't have any fresh garlic, so we're going to use garlic powder. Got a bag of mozzarella cheese, and a bag of frozen southern cut, southern style hash browns. This is a 2-pound bag. So the first thing we want to do is we want to get water boiling in the pot. 8 cups of water. So I'm going to put some water in a cup, and I'll show you where we go from here. Alright, the next thing we want to do, we want to kind of break these packs of cream cheese up, cut them in smaller pieces. It'll help it dissolve better in that boiling water. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be cutting up these green onions. Not sure how much of them I'll use. We're going to cut them up in little pieces. So that'll be the next step. Meanwhile, I got the cream cheese in that pot of water. It's starting to boil now. Cutting up these onions, so I hope I don't start crying. I know these green onions seem to be a little stronger, than sweet onions. I kind of like that strong flavor. That's why I'm going to put them in here. When we get these cut up, check this a little bit, get it stirred. You want to stir this and get that cream cheese broken up, get that stuff to dissolve. Once this gets on a good boil, we're going to dump in those hash browns. Really not sure how many of these I'm going to use. I might only use a few of them. Looks like I'm just with these couple onions I'm starting on, I'm getting quite a bit of onion pieces. So that might be just 3 onions here I'm going to use. I'm doing the green and everything. The whole onion stick. I think that's what we're going to do. put these in. I might slice up one more. Alright, so we got the water boiling pretty good. We got some onion in there. Didn't put as much as I originally thought. I thought I'd use all of them, but I didn't. We're going to dump the hash browns in. And we'll get busy on that. Alright, then we'll get busy on the fish and the bacon here. Let's chop up this bacon. A lot of it's basically crumbling up. That's what we want. Did you notice my shirt? I ordered several different shirts from my store. I wanted to see what kind of quality they have, and I just wanted a couple for myself to wear around. You'll probably be seeing them in different videos. I really like it. This is like a, I don't know what it is, like a nylon polyester material. It's really breathable. It's really light. But I got this one with the turkey. This happened to be, if you watch that video called Spring Thunder 18, that was the first turkey hunt video. 2 gobblers come in. The one was strutting. That's the one I took. But when they first started across the field, this was the other gobbler that was with it. And I took a screenshot from the video itself, and that's what this turkey is. And we believe, me and Brandon was watching the video, he got his gobbler on the last day of the season. Well, it wasn't the last day, it was Memorial Day, the last day we hunted. He got his gobbler, and after watching the video several times, we believed that this was the gobbler he got. If you haven't watched them videos, you might want to check them out if you're a turkey hunter. Alright, you got the bacon about chopped up. Let me stir this up. It's coming along pretty nice. Bacon's crumbling pretty good. I kind of overdid it a little bit on purpose to get it to crumble. And I smoked these trout. It was a different recipe, and I used too much salt in the recipe. I couldn't remember what it called for, and I used about almost a half a cup too much salt, so it was extra salty. Alright, we got some more bacon here. Now, if you not a particular fan of trout chowder or clam chowder, you can basically do this and make potato soup without even adding any meat, or you could buy a couple cans of clams. I've done that before and made clam chowder. It's really easy to make. I mean, most stuff is pretty easy to make. You just have to have the ingredients to throw it together. Alright, it's not as small pieces as I originally wanted, but I think it's going to do. Let's get this in there, and then we'll work on the trout. Basically just going to peel this meat right off the skin and chop it up. Make sure there's no bones or anything in there, any fine bones. We could get them out there at the same time. This recipe used brown sugar and salt. That's all it was brown sugar and salt. You set it on, put it in a container on the meat. The salt pulls the moisture out of the fish, because when it was done it was full of water. But I think I used too much salt because it's pretty salty. And I have to watch my salt anyway. Let me get this chopped up and then I'll get back with you. Alright, we're finishing up here with the trout. Got a lot of meat here. I mean, you probably don't really need 3 fish. You could probably get by with 2. But I got 3 of them here. Just breaking it in pieces. Not sure when it's in the boiling water if that will break it up even more. I'm not really sure. But like I said, it doesn't really matter how you cook the fish. I mean, this would probably be a great way to get rid of fish that you have in the freezer. I know that after they've been in the freezer for a while, they just don't seem to taste as good when you take them out and cook them. So this might be a good way to get rid of some of them. So here's the fish. We're going to put the fish in. Like fish. Let me wipe my hands off here and rinse them off. Alright, we're going to put the mushrooms in. I'm just going to put juice and everything, just dump the whole can in. I guess if you wanted, you could add peas, carrots, or something like that also. Alright, the last thing, we're going to put some garlic powder in there and a little bit of black pepper. I guess I could measure it. I'm just going to eyeball it. I would imagine you'd put maybe a 1/4 teaspoon, maybe a 1/2 teaspoon if you like garlic powder. So I'm just going to eye it up. And we'll put some black pepper in there. I imagine you'd put about the same amount of black pepper, depending on how spicy you like food. So that's pretty much it. We're going to add some cheese right before it's done. I'm going to let this stuff boil for a while. Basically, you just check those potatoes, make sure those potatoes are nice and soft. But you want to get it to a good boil before you turn it down and let it simmer. And you want to keep stirring it to keep that cream cheese, keep breaking it up. It dissolves. You don't want big chunks of that floating around, but you want to let that dissolve a little bit. So I'll be back with you here in a little bit when we're ready to throw the mozzarella cheese in there. Alright, so stuff's boiling pretty good. I turned it down a little bit. Now we're going to add the mozzarella cheese. It's just a package, 8-ounce package. We're going to put that in. Now that's going to, as that melts, it's going to get pretty gooey in there. But it should help the thickness of it and give it a good flavor. Potatoes feel like they're done. I mean, they don't feel hard anymore. I think what we're going to do, we're just going to turn this down. We'll just let it set. We'll actually turn it off. Still simmering there a little bit. We're just going to let that set for a little bit, clean up my mess here, and then we'll give it a try. That looks good, huh? Alright, so we got some here. It's still pretty hot. I'm going to give it a sample. Let me zoom in here a little bit. I normally don't like to taste stuff when it's hot. I don't think you can taste it as well. So we're going to give it a try though. Kind of anxious to see what it tastes like. Got some mushrooms. Try to get a little bit of everything on there. Some bacon. And a piece of trout. That's really good. That is really good. And you got a lot of flavor in there, I have to say. Very good tasting. Well, guys, I have to recommend you need to try this. If you got some old trout, even fresh trout, panfish of any kind, whatever you got, you really want to try this recipe. Very, very good. Alright guys, thanks for watching my video. I'll see you on the next one. I gotta finish this.